This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news of the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Thursday, October 17th. First up, Audio and Video Podcast Consumers in 2024, Part 1 by Tom Webster. The first in a two-part article series about both audiences who primarily listen to audio when they consume podcasts and audiences who primarily watch video podcasts. The Podcast Landscape 2024, built from a survey of 5,000 Americans, found 47% of respondents estimated the percentage of podcasts they consume as video is 0 to 24. On the opposite end of the scale, 14% consume podcasts via video 75 to 100% of the time. Webster dubs these two extremes of the spectrum audio prime and video prime and breaks down their respective demographic data to compare and contrast, including age, gender, and years spent listening to podcasts. Next up, This American Life announces premium feed. Starting yesterday, This American Life now has a premium offering dubbed This American Life Partners, a paid monthly subscription that gives access to ad-free cuts of episodes and bonus content. The official announcement of This American Life Partners says the decision is due to expectations that This American Life will make 33% less ad revenue this year compared to 2023. At the end of last year, an update to Apple Podcasts was included in iOS 17 that stopped an unintended behavior causing excessive over-downloading of older episodes if a listener returned after taking time off. This impacted most of the industry, and older shows with large backlogs were hit the hardest, including This American Life. Overall, the advertising side of podcasting has followed expected trends and settled into a new version of normal after the pandemic boom. Up next, Spotify paying audiobook publishers hundreds of millions annually. According to internal figures obtained by Axios, Spotify has paid audiobook publishers hundreds of millions on an annual basis, as well as recently doubling the amount of books available for premium subscribers from 150,000 to 300,000. As Bookstat details noted late last year, the audiobook industry grew 14% without Spotify in 2024. With Spotify, it grew 28%. Axios highlights one of the under-stressed success points of Spotify bringing audiobooks to new audiences, and that's revitalizing backlog content. In the same way streaming services brought old TV shows back to popularity, older audiobooks are finding new life, with 6 of the top 10 most streamed books on Spotify being books released over 5 years ago. Next up, what brands want, how the audio industry can win over advertisers. A new study from Oxford Road surveyed chief audio officers, that's brand marketers who own audio advertising within their organizations. The survey included 5 of the top 15 podcast advertising spenders according to Magellan AI's tracker. Key findings include 64% of surveyed CAOs measuring lower funnel metrics. 43% use pixel-based tracking methods for measurement of audio campaigns. On the topic of AI, respondents were asked to rank their comfort with the idea of an AI-generated host reading ad copy or the use of cloned voices for personal endorsements. The ranking was done on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best and 1 being the worst. 80% of respondents said their comfort level was between 0 and 2. Only 8% of respondents said their comfort level was at a 4 or a 5. And finally, Elliott launches podcast in attack ploy aimed at Southwest. Activist investor company Elliott Management has had its sights on Southwest Airlines since June, when the company called for Southwest's chairman and CEO to step down. The campaign includes invoking a Southwest bylaw that allows investors the option of calling a special shareholder meeting to replace directors if it has a 10% stake in the company. This week, Elliott is enacting their push for a December meeting by releasing Stronger Southwest, a podcast series built around conversations with Elliott's nominees for director candidacy. Podcasts, even niche ones intended for a specific audience of shareholders, have the power to disseminate a message, and organizations like Elliott Management are recognizing that power. As for the rest of the news, Headliner and Hubhopper have announced a partnership aimed to simplify podcast transcription by adding Eddy integration into Hubhopper's platform. Next, Broadcast Media and AudioStack have partnered to bring AI-driven audio production capabilities to advertisers in the Middle East, North Africa region, And a new podcast from Washington Post's Impromptu series covers both U.S. presidential candidates' podcasting tour over the last 2 months. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by Newton Shuttlecotti, myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.